Morning everyone and happy new year. It feels a bit topsy-turvy really because I am doing this intro a day earlier. I'm flying out to Athens for a few days and I've been taking it really easy in the days leading up to it, but also plan to take it easy when I'm there as well. So have had to reschedule things, doing this a bit early. Regardless, I wanted to wish you a happy new year. I mentioned this in my last episode as well. Christmas is not necessarily what it's like in the adverts for a lot of people, and it is an easy period for everyone. So really, this is just to say it's over, guys. Even despite this Christmas tree, ignore it. I kind of just want to milk every ounce of sort of the cozy fairy light feeling. But Christmas is done and we're on to something new. So if that's any consolation to any of you, I hope it can be. But really I have quite a few things I need to cover in this intro section. So yeah, hopefully this can be a bit of escapism if you've had a tough Christmas and a tough time over these last few days. I did feel maybe burnout is a bit extreme, but I felt very tired after hosting Christmas Day. Just to go back to that, it went really well. So one of my friends who watches this regularly basically said, "You left us on a cliffhanger, you need to cover more of that." I know I mentioned I had a few lists, not everything went according to plan. What I foolishly sort of forgot to think about is the fact that I had a slow-cooked lamb and a big sort of turkey breast, both of which were sort of up to 2 kilograms. The slow cooking meant that obviously everything else is impacted. So one of the key lessons I've taken from this year is to just stick to one meat, because the amount of leftovers as well were ridiculous. Everything was eaten, so nothing was wasted, which is great. So it wasn't the worst thing, I guess. But yeah, I think that was one of the main lessons, to just do one meat. No need for two. I will say that both the turkey and lamb that I got from the local butchers in Penge was excellent. The turkey was nice and juicy. I think it helped that I had lemons cut up on the tray as well. So that then added to the juices and the gravy as well. But yeah, excellent meat. That part really went well. The other issue that I've mentioned before is oven space. So Christmas Day requires so many different elements, so it was quite difficult to juggle everything. What helps is having the gravy on the hob throughout the morning, kind of cooking away, all those juices and flavors coming together, and then it stays hot and hot enough to pour over the food and for the food to feel hot enough. Because the meat itself doesn't have to be piping hot, really, and you're told to rest the turkey as well. So the turkey was rested for maybe an hour. The lamb, because it was slow cooked, it doesn't really need to rest. And then my other favorite bits, I would say, the roast potatoes went down a treat. They were so crispy, and I think the triple fat really helps in that. So I put in quite a generous amount of butter, a generous amount of olive oil, and 3 tablespoons of goose fat. I wouldn't ordinarily cook roast potatoes on a regular basis like that. It's a bit more indulgent. The crisp came out really excellent. The cauliflower cheese was also great. However, because there were so many other elements, people actually forgot about it. The other thing that surprised me on the day was I thought that we would be grazing throughout the day, but because there were so many elements to begin with, people were full from the first portion. We of course had dessert. My friend made brownies. She also brought a cheese platter which wasn't even open, so she went home with it. I gave it back to her basically. So the sort of grazing expectations I had were less so in the end, because yeah, we were so full from all the different elements. Braised red cabbage, I might even leave it for next year, honestly. I was already unsure about its value, and I'm even more unsure now. The parsnips went down a treat, so the miso parsnips, people really liked those, and I will definitely be repeating that. We didn't even have to make Yorkshire puddings in the end. My friends came over and they were like, yeah, it's not even a traditional Christmassy thing You don't need to make them, and there's so much other stuff, like don't worry about it. So yeah, no Yorkshire puddings. If you don't live in England or don't know what a Yorkshire pudding is, it's essentially made out of pancake batter. But you have to have a really hot pan, like with sizzling oil. You throw in the batter, and it creates this sort of like pool, like baked, thing, baked pancake. But it's lighter than that because the middle is kind of like empty. Anyway, it's hard to describe, but if you want, Google it if you don't know what that is. But yeah, didn't make one of those anyway. What else? Yeah, I would say all in all, it was really, really good. I will say that 2:30 was a great shout. It's not too late for you to feel terrible the next day, for instance, and it's not too early either. I mean, that didn't change the fact that, I still woke up at 10 to 4, which is ridiculous, but there we have it. Boxing Day, took it really, really easy. Then the next day, I had a house party that had a 90s theme, and the whole point was to dress up in fancy dress. I suck at fancy dress. I need to just admit it to myself, and I have over the years known that, but it's really sunk in again this time around. I decided to go as Gwen Stefani because she's had a really cool style evolution, right? And in the 90s, she was very grunge, and I thought, how hard can that be? I ended up looking like, basically, I did too much. Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls, when she arrives looking like a zombie bride and everyone else looks hot. That's essentially what my outfit was giving. It was bad. The wig that I had ordered didn't arrive in time, and so I had to get to a costume shop the day of to get a different wig, which was so plasticky, extremely shiny. It wasn't a good look, guys, but people said it's good that I made an effort. Yesterday was New Year's Eve. I had a takeaway from Kishmish, which is a local Iranian place, very delicious. Usually I stay up for at least the fireworks, but no can do. Especially because yesterday I did a 26-kilometer run. And this is the first time actually I've truly tested my knee post very odd dog-related injury that I mentioned in the last episode. They both feel like jelly, so I guess that's good news for the one knee. Clearly it's not been impacted just on the one side. And then the days in between have been a lot of leftover eating. You might just see flashes of leftover dishes, basically. So I apologize about that. There's not that much talking in between that. I do plan to film some content when I'm in Athens as well, so stay tuned for that. So today, just going to finish up packing, get ready for the flight, and then head home. But yeah, thank you so much again for joining. I'm back on because I forgot to mention a few more bits about my birthday. It was a truly wonderful day. I've said this before, that my birthday comes at quite an awkward time. It's late December when everyone's probably feeling the strain financially from Christmas gifts for people. And I really appreciate people for always showing up. But yeah, on my birthday, I woke up and I had a few errands to run, like the Christmas shop came in, I had to go to the butcher's. After those errands, I came back and it was time to unveil what had been in a white box on a top shelf for the last couple of days before my birthday. It very much looked like a cake box, but I had no idea what was in it. Anyway, as it turns out, it was a cookie cake from Marta and the Muffins, who I've mentioned several times on this vlog, and for good reason, because she makes absolutely delicious bakes. My favorite bake of hers is a pistachio cookie. I tried to emulate the recipe, could not get anywhere near. Yeah, essentially, that cookie was made into a big cookie cake. It just was proof yet again how amazing she is as a baker. But yeah, if you live in Southeast London, I would 100% recommend Marta and the Muffins. And I would also say, if you live in London more generally, she's worth a trip. She is on at Crystal Palace Market every Sunday selling her amazing baked goods. So highly recommend. I was also very spoiled to a gift voucher for Chatsworth Bakehouse, and that will be such a good treat. And then after the cookie cake, we headed out to lunch to Batarga. the Greek restaurant. I've said before that I've been to Lagana, which is a sister restaurant. They're owned by this restaurant group called Pachamama, I believe. I really liked it as a restaurant, like really good food, good quality. The orzo was insane, like really, really good flavors there. It was like a seafood orzo. Highly recommend if you're going. The spicy feta dip with pita bread, really good. The lamb chops were good. I would say the only thing we missed out on was vegetables, and they did say, do you want to order any? And we said no, but I think in hindsight, a Greek salad or something like that would have gone down well. But yeah, really good meal. Maybe this is unimportant to people, but on the marketing side of things, I would say that as a restaurant group, they're trying a bit too hard. They have a lot of behind the scenes stuff where they're trying to be like the bear, I think. But yeah, I'm not buying it. So other people might. It just isn't my favorite. Yeah, if you're in London, fancy some Greek food, go there. And then Akara is incredible. Would 100% recommend it. It was not cheap. I'm very grateful to my friends for treating me to that dinner. But yeah, Akara is really great. If you're in London, yeah, and you have the funds, please do go. The sort of standout dishes I would say is Lagos chicken. It was marinated in delicious things, really, really good. I would also say the Akara itself, which is like a savory donut. But even that description does not do it justice. It was delicious, and traditionally it comes with prawn inside. I say traditionally, but it's fusion cuisine, and it's African and Brazilian. So the tradition for Akara is more on the Brazilian side, I believe. But if you know better than that, please do correct me. But yeah, the Akara was delicious, so I'd recommend that dish. It came with prawn and sauce all over. There was a lamb dish as well, which was ridiculously good. Yeah, I mean, if you can, go. Yeah, so that is the roundup on my birthday, guys. I'll finally leave you to it. See you soon. It's fine.
I had tape as a day back
Given I saw what went in it. It was quite silent. Food, products, whatever. Anyway.
From the Alex Herbeck stage at Sony Picture Studios.
Morning, everyone. I look a bit corpse-like, yes. But in any case, it is New Year's Eve. We're very, very close to 2026, and I just wanted to jump on in sort of half delirium after a very, very long run, just to say I wish you all a happy new year, full of good health, joy, laughter, and silliness, because silliness is important regardless of your age. Anyway, I shall leave it at that, but I wish you all the best, and thank you again for watching these vlogs and these rantings and ramblings.
φαίνεται καλά, μεγάλα. I think he's gonna... Κοίτα Γιώργο.
Αν πάρει και να το γεύουμε κιόλας.
Ναι, καλά.
Δεν πρέπει φωτογραφία, σας εκδίνεις. Είστε εδώ.
Seems a bit dramatic.
Τελείως. Και Χάιλι. Ωραίο.
What did it demonstrate?
Πολύ ωραία.
Τελειώνουμε προσθέτοντας γλυκό του κουταλιού βύσσινο από πάνω.
Έχετε και βαρλάκια.
Δεν ξέρω αν η γεύση σαν διαδικασία. Η διαδικασία η γεύση είναι μια
Αντίστοιχη.
Φάτε. Yes.
Θα πάρει ώρα, παιδιά, επειδή έχουν ένα από τα εξά.
The good basil?
No, you know what? I wish a lot of times that I was doing this picture because 100% what you said. I'm gonna let it go. I still love all this. I mean, I still do.
Γιώργο, οι κανόνες του παιχνιδιού. Και όχι αυτό, και αυτό μπορείτε να πάρετε. Ό,τι θέλετε. Μην μου πέσει κάτω το παλιά η ζάχαρη.
Αφού είναι ζωμάντιλα, μαμά.
Είναι πολύ και τα δικά μας τα βρήκαμε πολύ εύκολα. Δεν είναι.
Έξω είναι.